12 years, 2 years, 3 years and 4 months, 6 months, 18 and 7. Okay, Salma. Okay, so I guess we have people who have children in a wide age group. Okay, let's start with the session. Okay, that was Ransi. Okay. So is your dinner over or are you yet to have dinner?
Yet to have dinner.
Okay, someone says volume is very low. Is it like that for everyone?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
One says, okay, no, 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 no. Okay, that means I guess volume is okay for a majority of the people. So those who are facing issues with volume, please check it at your end. Okay, thank you all for that response. So today's topic is when parenting turns toxic. Okay, will parenting turn toxic? Let me know.
When we
Okay,
can't
I guess,
control ourselves,
sorry.
when we are angry or we can control ourselves.
Yes, then sometimes it turns toxic, right? Okay, see, now only I realized these no's will be to do, everyone who have put no, that is for dinner, right? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, when we get angry, or someone says when we get angry, it can turn toxic. What about others? Zenab says, I think when parents are not in control of their own emotions. Yes. What else? When we are emotionally regulated. Yes, Safira. What else? When work is pending. Okay, so I guess a majority of us agree that parenting can turn toxic, right? So when parents have stress, when we have mood swings, says Shaista, says when parents have different views about parenting, very relevant point. Hansa, when there is no bonding, true, true, true. Okay, so we all have different perspectives of this toxic parenting, and today we'll discuss several aspects of that. Okay, and first, let us get into some reality. No one is a perfect parent. Agree to it?
Yes.
Everyone? Yes. Okay, there are some thumbs up from Nooralain. And no parent can be emotionally available all the time. One requirement that we need to fulfill as a parent to our children is that we need to be available to them, not just physically, but emotionally as well. But I understand no parent can be emotionally available all the time. And no parent can prevent occasional anger. No parent can stay fully away from controlling behavior. These occasional events make no parent toxic. These occasional events do not make us toxic. Can you please mute Shaista from your end? Okay, thank you. So, all parents, all of us are deficient from time to time. There are a lot of requirements that we need to fulfill, and we are deficient in some aspects. So, we are all human, and occasional ones can be balanced. As it said, occasionally these are happening. Occasionally, it's fine. It will get balanced. But continuous mistakes cause damage. Agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what is toxic parenting? There are many parents whose negative patterns of behavior are consistent throughout and that dominate in the child's life. See, I guess, Hafsa, your child is watching, and I prefer prefer you watching it rather than your child attending it. Even if the child don't understand, it's not good if he is hearing. If he's not hearing, it is fine. Okay, so yes, for some of us, the negative patterns of behavior that is consistent throughout, and that is a dominant one in the child's life. These are the times, or these are the type of parents who can cause damage to the children or harm to the children. So we need to be conscious about ongoing or repetitive aspect of these negative behaviors that we mentioned. We will today be checking 18 aspects of our attitude or behavior, okay, that can cause that, damaging or toxic effect on children. And today we are discussing this because we don't want, none of us want to be purposefully be damaging to our little ones, right? But things can go out of control, as we discussed, as you all said, there are several factors that influence all these, and we may not realize it until it is clear in front of us. That is why we are discussing it. And as we discuss each, we have to check, is my child going through this? Okay. And at some points, I'll be explaining it based on couple relationships. Because sometimes when we say, like, okay, this is not right to tell a child, we may sometimes feel like, okay, why not? That is just a child. But when the same situation is explained from a couple's perspective, then it tends to click us fast. We understand better. Okay, so I'll be bringing in those examples where needed. And those who have small children, I would say that till my child was 4 years or 4 to 6 years, I would have never agreed if someone said that parenting can be toxic. I could never, just a second, I'm sorry. Okay. I could never ever imagine how can people be like that to their own children, because that is the first child, and that is a time when we are, completely immersed in our children, that we don't understand how one can get angry at children. So that was my stage to a certain extent. But then after sometimes I understood how people change, how parents change, and why we change and all. So let's come to it. We'll be discussing case by case, and we are going ahead with the first. Sorry. The first is definitely physical abuse, slapping the child, hitting, throwing the child, hitting with other objects, pulling, shaking the child. For some of us, this may seem to be quite distant. Will parents ever do this to your child? Or if they are doing, it may feel like it is just, 1% among the parents who are doing. I was of that assumption until recently. And I would say until we started Kring and we started discussing about parenting issues with, a lot of people. Even last day, I talked to a parent, and the mother was saying that her husband is a really good person who helps others, and everyone has a good opinion about him. He never hits her, okay? He never hits his wife. But when he's frustrated, he does so much to the kids, throws them on bed, hits them with other objects, and whatnot. If that is the situation in your home, at least one parent should realize that and seek help. Please hear me right. If this is a situation, at least one parent who can realize that. See, when a parent is, when a person is in um, that state, he or she may not be able to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. Maybe they'll realize after some time, and then still they are not able to control themselves. Then the other parent, it is upon you to take up that step to seek help and get this corrected, because the child's duty becomes it is the child's right that you stand up for the child. That was the first one. Second, such parents, some parents dictate rules. We won't be giving reasons why we are saying things. The rule is just obey. If I am the one who is saying it, just obey. The child has no right to make decisions here. And majority of the time, the child gets confused. Why am I doing this? Why should it be done that way? Why can't I do it later? Why is it so important? And this, in future, it even affects the child's decision-making skills as an adult. And as I said, when it is said, just obey because I am the one who is saying it, the child gets confused. And it emotionally affects the child because the child feels chained. What have I done? Why am I doing this? There is no clarity. Recently, I talked to a girl who was going through a punishment from a father, and the father was not letting her take her vehicle, but she has no idea why things are happening like that. So dictating rules, there will be rules in a house, but every rule has to be a well thought decision taken after discussion with the children and after explaining the reasons to them. Moving forward, neglecting the child. We may be busy, we may be stressed, we may have kept someone else to take care of the child. But when the child needs their parents for that emotional support, the parent is not available. And the child is not emotionally connected to the parent because of this unavailability. That is the third case. These type of parents, they convey to the child frequently that they are worthless. You can't do anything right. Whatever you do, you make a mess of it. You are good for nothing. As they constantly hear these words, they believe themselves to be that. I cannot, I can't, I'm not good, I cannot do anything. So that becomes their internal voice. Always counting the favors that we do for them. Is this how you behave? Even though I feed you 4 to 5 times a day, I just brought another toy for you when you demanded. And is this how you answer to my order? What we give is actually our responsibility in most cases. And in other cases, it comes out of love for our children. So even if we give or not, there are certain limits and boundaries that the child should obey. It's not completely materialistic. I give you this and you obey me. It is not materialistic. So detach what we expect from them to do and what we give them. Because this, connecting what we do to them and their obedience, that can cause a long term damage, because at one point we may not be able to give everything that they want, and at that time it doesn't mean that they shouldn't obey us. Okay, stop crying, go away and come back after your cries. I should never see you crying. The child learns that my emotions are not valuable here. Once he or she controls the sadness and prevents herself from crying, it can even affect their emotional health, and also physically it can affect. So being happy or being, happy, sad, these are all natural responses that we have as humans. Crying is, in fact, an emotion that comes to us in a lot of situations, including sadness, joy, frustration, anger. It's a way that it's something that our body does to relieve stress from us. And it even makes us feel better. So holding back tears is actually, it has a negative effect on our body as well as our mental health. And let's stop asking or the child to stop crying, or let's not shame the child for being unhappy. Going forward with the next. Here, the child walks on eggshells, meaning there is so much unpredictability that any time the parent can burst out. The child needs to make sure that everything goes perfect in order not to irritate the parent. Child will always be worried when the next shouting comes. The child is in constant fear and discomfort. Emotionally imbalanced parent. This has been mentioned by multiple people in the chat box, right? When we discussed at the beginning. The parent is emotionally imbalanced. They are going through a lot. And the child becomes the adult here when it comes to emotion. The child has to soothe the parent. The parent may feel like, okay, my child is acting even beyond his age and he's soothing me. But the child is not going through a good state. They have to act beyond their age. And emotional maturity of an adult is required for the child because the parent always cries, shouts, and goes into a depressed state. Maybe the child will have to take care of the siblings as well when the mother or father is going through such a state. That's why it said the child becomes the adult here when it comes to emotions and actions. And this not only kills their childhood, but also it turns them into emotionally neglected children because they have no opportunity to express their worries. Where do they express their worry when their mother or father is going through such a situation? They are supposed to wrap up all the feelings and they always have to bury their feelings. It affects their future relationship as well when they find it very difficult to open up. Next, we'll take the situation of a spouse telling, "It's because of you that I suffer like this. Ever since you came into my life, I had only problems." If your spouse says this to you, will you feel good? Yes or no? Even
No,
if
I
it's
don't.
Definitely not.
even if it's just once in a lifetime, these dialogues, especially we women, never forget, right? Right. So when it comes to children, and when it comes to this, say this adult, when the spouse is saying like that, can she do something to correct it? Ever since you came into my life, I had only problems. There is nothing that she can do now, right? Things are happening like that. Things already happened ever since that marriage happened. So when we say the same thing to our children, "It's because of you that I have to work day and night like a machine. It's because of you that I'm undergoing this tension. You." The child is a main problem that this parent has in their life, and the child can't do anything to change the situation. See, there's a small okay, can do nothing. Yes, slide is right. Sorry. So the child can't do anything to change that situation, and the child feels helpless. This is a very toxic nature. You ruin my day. Always feeling that kids are responsible for my emotion and holding the kids responsible for that. Getting angry is upon us, right? We are getting angry. Reasons can be many, but the main reason is not the child. If we are in the right mental state, even if the child is showing, some tantrums and all, we'll be able to manage. So it is upon us to manage our emotions. Let's not hold them, responsible for that. But their action has to be corrected. Whatever they are doing that is not acceptable, that has to be corrected. Don't take me wrong. That definitely has to be corrected. You can say, like, this is not acceptable, or this will make me angry. This has made me angry. That is fine. But don't say as an excuse that my anger is because of what you have done. And when we get angry, we can always add some extra sentences like, "I'll try to correct and act better the next time." That will, in fact, give the child also a hint that, okay, correction is possible. We need to get better. But please keep away from doing what you did because that's not good for you. Children are not responsible for how we feel. You can never gain my love again. Hearing this from your partner will be heartbreaking. You can never gain trust back. You've closed all doors. For the child, you've closed all safe, positive feelings from the parent. This again strikes the child hard. The word never is the one that hits emotionally hard. Here also, when they are unsure what they can do, they don't even know that they can do something to correct the situation. That is a main toxicity here. It is all doors are closed. There is no other option. It is done. That whole hopelessness is what they feel at the other end. I will ring up the police. This has been a recent trend in Insta as well. When the child throws tantrum, the mother is taking up the phone and calling the police, and that voice is, put in the loudspeaker and uh, shown to the child. When we do this, what happens is the kids turn into a vigilant and alert mode. When someone is coming to attack you, do you feel safe? Definitely not. Do you act your best way? Do you act your best self when you feel that, okay, I am being, I'm being attacked? No. Same situation. See, we just need to connect that to an adult situation to understand that. It is not fun. It is not joke. We all need our home to be a safe place. Where there is hindrance to our safety in our home, we'll be unstable. We'll be emotionally unstable. The home that we are providing our kids should be a safe place for them. They should feel comfortable there, where they feel, themselves at ease. So let's not put them into that alert mode and try to discipline them, because this will cause high emotional damage. I know you are lying. Tell the truth. When the child is truthful and then they have to face accusations like this turns the child again helpless, not knowing how to express or prove their truthfulness. Later, they even feel like, why should I be truthful? I'm anyways being tagged like that. I'm stamped like that. I don't have anyone in my life whom I can trust. So once you accuse your child for a lie, do it only if you are pakka sure about that. And that also, when you address your lie, there are certain, um, discipline that you need to follow in that talk as well, without fully putting the child on on accusing mode. Just make sure that always there is a door open for them to repent and get back. Otherwise there's no point. They lose hope. Parent self-harming. When the child sees the parent harming himself or herself, maybe because of the child, they may tell the reason that, okay, it is because of you that I'm doing this. That can be one case. Otherwise, due to the other stress as well, if the child sees the parent harming themselves, they feel frightened, anxious. Again, that alert mode is on. They don't know how to regulate themselves. They are unable to decide what to do. Hopelessness. And this causes affects them emotionally. It's upon you to choose. This I've seen with multiple parents. We give them choice, but then it's kind of cheating. We have a decision and we want our children to choose that only, but still we give choice. Did we give a choice? Yes, we gave, but was it a choice? No. And such parents even say later that, if you find the child sad at that decision that the child has made, we ask them, why did you choose? You should have chosen the other one. I told you, no. See, this is such a chain, it is an emotional damage that you are doing to the child. You are giving it to the child, but the child also knows what the child has to choose because you want that. And still you are trying to play with the situation. If the child chooses against your wish, then this parents creates a large outburst there. This gives immense emotional stress on the child, and the child feels like, okay, I'm a doll who has to obey what the choice is given to me. Always finding a problem and never appreciating. We parents, we may often feel that, okay, if we appreciate our children, they may take pride and their character will worsen. We want that door of improvement to be open, and so we don't appreciate. And maybe many of our parents, in our times and all, this kind of parenting was quite common. We never get, my parents were not like that, okay. um, but I see a lot of that age parents who never appreciate their children for the fear that, okay, they may be very proud and there won't be further improvement. And also to some parents it can be because, um, if we appreciate, okay, he won't try again next time, or The parent might have done better than this, so he may feel this is something very small that the child has done. Okay, and also those parents who are perfectionist parents, they don't get satisfied with the child's work at all. And what happens to the child? They also start never getting satisfaction in whatever they do because no appreciation is there. See, even if we get money from our work, if we feel that there is a gap, we are not gaining that competence in our work, no one values our work, we'll feel suffocated there if there is no one to value our work. We all need that competence. We need that feeling that, yes, I have achieved. There is something worth that I'm doing. So, such children who are facing these, they keep self criticizing all the time and they never get satisfied at their own performance. They feel that I'm good for nothing. They may even fall into traps with strangers, who maybe appreciate them for something or some small thing or the other. They get attracted to them because that is something that they are lacking in their life. Next category of kids who face toxicity is because of parental fights that they witness. Both of them, both the parents, they try to brainwash the child to their side. They use the child as a tool. You go and tell your mom that such and such things. Similarly, from the other side. And also continuously canvassing the child that, okay, you are with me, right? Let's fight against the father. That kind of a attitude, and the child is being a tool here. Loading the child with loads of secrets. The parent will be using this child as a dumping area of his or her emotions. They tell about others, everything that happened, and they get to hear, those things that the child cannot withstand at that point of age. So this will start again negatively affecting the child. Have I ever left you alone? Sorry, when you wanted me. See, this sentence, the wife is hearing that, okay? When the wife wants the husband to come to the child's PTA meeting, the husband is saying, so today I'm very busy. Have I ever left you alone when you wanted me? Just this is one situation, please adjust. But then it was just last month that she again called, she had called the husband, but he didn't accompany her to a gynecologist. So, the person will be asking, have I ever done it before? But she would have done it or he would have done it 100 other times. That is quite clear in the memory of the other person. Have I ever spanked you for asking food ever? But in the reality, you should have done it several times. We may be saying that, okay, today this happened because I'm stressed, but that is not the case, but you still keep saying that as an excuse. So these were the 18 things that I wanted to discuss with you, the common language that comes from us and how it affects the children. Now, these kind of parents, they normally exhibit these traits. One is denial of any such happenings, denial that everything, uh, uh, you know, um, as if nothing has happened and everything is normal here. What is there so much to talk about? Everything is quite normal. This is how things have to be. And relabeling is, for example, a father who is an alcoholic, okay? But he says that he relabels that and says that, okay, I just drink occasionally. I'm just a social drinker. But actually, that is not the case. And another thing is projecting. Always keep an excuse like it is all because of that particular person or that particular incident that happened, or it is because of my, the character that I got inherited from my parents. They put the blame on somewhere else, project it to something else. These are common traits that we see in such parents. And the result? Some kids turn aggressive or rebellious. They are emotionally isolated and they withdraw from people. Definitely, they lack confidence. In a majority of the things that we discussed, lacking confidence is one of the main symptoms that we see. They feel useless and unworthy of love, and in their adulthood they find it very difficult to get into relationships because the relationships that they see is very harmful, very toxic, and also they won't have that character of opening up to people around. They are fearful of rejection, they get into stress, they get into addictions, they can't make decisions on their own, they have disturbed eating and sleeping patterns, they always keep others in a danger zone. They feel that no one can be trusted and people cannot live like that. And also they start exhibiting this self-harming behaviors. And all these that we see in present day adults around us are somehow connected to their childhood like this. It can be, in a majority of the cases, can be connected to, you know, their childhood. Even those who get married at an early age, this kind of a parenting that happens from the spouse, that can lead to severe damage like this when the interaction between the spouse is not that positive. Okay, I'm unable to change the slide. Okay. So our family teaches us who we are and how we are supposed to interact with this world. Good families gives us all those skills and encouragement to face the world and to interact successfully in this world and other people. They teach us to lead a successful life. And toxic families may teach us several survival skills, what to do when such an alert situation is there. They'll teach us that, but that may or may not help us build a successful future. But it is sure to cause damage to their emotional health as well. So a change is needed, and there are successful parents who stood up and sought help and broke the chain of negativity that has been continuing since generations. So when we experience these, we may not know how else it can be. When we are brought up in such an environment, we tend to give that same to our children. So we may not know that there can be other ways, and you can build a positive environment at home that can be quite new to such parents. So how positive families can be is quite unknown to them, and what happens there. Make sure that you interact with such families and such people, be in that circle, and seek help where needed. If you notice that, okay, I have this kind of a thing that I'm doing with my child, I want to get out of it, but I'm unable to. You try one day, you try today, but you are unable to. That means you need to seek help. So Kring has been supporting families to bring about this positive parenting in their positive atmosphere in their home all throughout. So next we'll be going into the age-wise psycho social development of the children. We'll discuss what all we need to focus on their development, psychosocial development, different age groups. But before doing that, I would like to give a short explanation on what Kring has been doing all throughout. So Kring Parent Space is working towards raising a better next generation by leading the present day parents for growing healthy humans, building trust, encouraging them, and helping the children manage their emotion is very necessary by modeling a behavior to them, modeling the right to them. So we help parents through these tools. One of the things that we do is a 12-week transformation program for parents that we conduct. It is called Parenting Without Frustration, and it has, got several amazing feedbacks and transformed several families. It is a 12-week program. There are three themes that are mainly discussed in this Parenting Without Frustration. One is parental stress. In a majority of the cases that we saw today also, you'll realize that it is mainly because of parental stress that we are not able to focus on our children or be nice to our children. So that is one area that we deal with. And then after dealing with parental stress, we come to building a good bond with your child, and from there we help you discipline your child without any compulsion. These are the three themes in Parenting Without Frustration. And also we provide personal mentorship to parents, where we allot a parent mentor to you, and you will be in constant touch with the parent mentor who will be helping you be a better parent day by day. So this is what Kring has been doing, and we have amazing feedbacks. You can just check our Insta page for knowing more. Now, coming back, stages of psychosocial development. So, this is based on a theory that is proposed by Erickson. He says that at each age group, there is a psychological conflict that develops into emotionally healthy adults. There's always a psychological conflict that happens. And depending on which side wins, we'll be developing a character. Okay, so let's check out the internal conflict that is there in every human at different age groups. From birth, I'm really sorry, from birth to 12 months, it is a phase when the child learns trust or mistrust. Small babies, they must learn that adults can be trusted. They don't know us, they don't know how this world is. And this occurs when the child's basic needs for survival are met. When the baby cries and the caregiver attends to the child learns that, okay, people can be trusted. They help me. The world is a safe place. If we don't attend to the child's need, they develop fear and mistrust. They grow up with this feeling. In the beginning, many of you said that your baby is small, right? Like few months. To those mothers, I would like you to stress on this. Whenever your child needs you, see that you attend to your child, because right from the birth, there will be many parents who tell you that don't take the baby, let the baby cry, then only the baby will be independent and all. Okay, let our aim be to raise an emotionally secure child, and for that, the trust has to be developed at this stage. So let's not go back in that. And as a toddler, that is 1 to 3 years, kids begin to explore the world. They realize that they can control their actions, and they begin to show preference to toys, food, etc., to their dress. And they are trying to figure out between their autonomy and shame or doubt by working on their independence. This is an I will do it stage. We all mothers would have gone through this stage, when we try to help them, no, I'll do it. They want to dress up themselves. If we restrict their independence at this stage, they begin to doubt themselves, and that can lead to low self-esteem or feeling of shame. Moving on, 3 to 6 years, they are capable of initiating activities, and they assert more control over the world through the interactions that they have with their other children there. And they start figuring out between initiative and guilt. They will plan things and achieve their goals. When parents, allow them to go and explore within, of course, within certain limits, but still you let them explore, then, and also you support your child's choices and encourage them to take initiative, then that sense of ambition will be there and responsibility is developed. They feel more confident and feel a sense of purpose. So those who fail at this stage through over controlling parents, they develop a feeling of guilt. Moving on, from 6 to 12 years, they figure out industry versus inferiority. They begin to compare. This is a stage when they begin to compare themselves with their peers. Even if we don't compare, they get that internal, trigger to see whether they are compatible with others. Am I capable like the others around? So they develop this sense of pride in their achievement in schoolwork, sports. Can you please mute, Ramsey? So they develop this sense of pride in their work that they are doing, maybe sports, arts, studies, etc. And they feel inferior or inadequate when that is not met. When they don't come up to their expectations. So if they have negative experience around in the home, in the school, with peers, it continues even in their adulthood. So as they grow through each stage of their life, they either successfully achieve these goals or they fail. And generally, any kind of trauma or abuse or a toxicity that happens during each framework, that will affect that state, the growth of that stage. I mean, the goal of that stage. If the parent did not provide with the proper feeding and affection for baby, they fail to develop that trust right from that young stage. Or if they get well nurtured, through that first 3 stages, they develop trust, autonomy, and initiative. But maybe at between 6 to 12, they go through an abusive relationship. Then that will affect their future stages. So once we fail to acquire a positive goal of each of one of the stages, that will again affect the other stages as they grow. Am I making sense? So a positive intervention, if this has happened, like if any of the stages are affected because of negative intervention from the family around, then a positive intervention from the parent or from a counselor is necessary for the child to get back. Please see to it. So parenting is no simple and casual thing. It is a serious matter, dealing with other human beings, and let's take it seriously and put in our best effort to bring about a positive experience to our children. And Kring is there to support you in this journey. So we have come to the end. This is our social media pages. Facebook, it is kring.inc, parenting_kring in Insta, and this is our number. If you have any doubts related to parenting, or if you would like to enroll for the Parenting Without Frustration 12-week transformation program, you can message us. Is there any doubts?
I have one thing to ask related to the session today. There was one slide which you you told about the child bonding from 0 to 12 months. If the child cries and you have to tend, you are there when he ever needs you. Now, one of the thing is, even after doing this, when you feel your child is still insecure after 3 years, or he's still, depending on you, wanting you all the time, or is like, always asking you to be there. How do you balance? How do you manage it? How do you help the child to, get to a level that to be a bit independent? Like he doesn't need every time, but you feel that at a certain time that it's always you being there, even though other members are there, but it's only you who has been always been asked for the child.
True. Okay, so before answering that, let me say that I have posted a form in the chat box. If you have any doubts, you can submit in that form, and I'll be reading that out. Okay, so your questions will be anonymous. Okay, going ahead with that question. Normally, when children cling to us, uh, we get a sense that, okay, I need to make them independent. They are clinging on to me because they love me a lot, and that bonding is higher. But in a majority of the situations, that may not be the case, because whenever the child, see, for a child, the parent, the mother or the father is a safe person whom the child can approach when they are in danger, right? So whenever they feel there is inadequate warmth, inadequate uh, safety feeling inside, they tend to cling on to us more and more to get that comfort. But in the majority of the situation, what we do is when we see that the child is clinging on to us more, we tend to detach the child. We tend to detach the child in the sense we keep the child away, ask them, why are you clinging on to me? I have other works. You are this year, you're 4 year, you're 5 year old. Why can't you do your work? Can't I go for my job? You're this old. We try to detach the child from us. But actually, when you build more and more, and you provide more safety to the child and show that you are there for the child, then they get an internal comfort, and that is when they turn independent. That means, yes, Nurline?
And then your next point was the one I was about to ask. How do you go?
Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, you were going on. I mean, I would have interrupted you.
Yes. I was about to tell something, but I'm sorry. That blocked.
Sorry.
So
It
what
was
I was
like,
saying is, yes, what I was saying is, the more you show your child and build on the bonding with your child will naturally turn independent. Otherwise, also, see, when you detach your child, those parents who constantly neglect your child and ask the child to go away when the child is coming for help, even such kind of parents, what the child does is, after some time, the child stops coming to us, and we feel like, okay, they have turned independent, but still there's a storm that is going inside the child. The child hasn't turned independent, but the child has turned negatively independent. They are learning survival skills, and still that emotional gap is there in their mind. That is not the healthy way to correct them. So build on the relationship with your child, do more and more of bonding steps with your child, and show that you care. And that is when the child feels satisfied and get back to do their works independently. Am I making
Hello, ma'am.
sense?
Hi, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am. I had a doubt.
Hello.
Now, regarding this, as you said that we want to get them independent, like, otherwise till the age of 5 to 6, we had them in our beds. So after that, we want them to have their, own space, like is recommended, no, in Islam that we separate the beds of the kids after 7, 8 years, maybe. So, according to that, what do you think, ma'am? Like, if we are asking them, you need to stay, but still they want to cling to us. But now we see that, they have gone separate, but somewhere, as you told, that I hope that negative. Now I'm really pondering over it. Has it got a negative separation or negative independence that has happened? So, how to get off that feeling? Like, is it good that I need to have a conversation with them and talk to them? Like, what do you recommend, ma'am? Like, I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes, definitely. May I know your name, please?
My name is Umahani.
Mahani is your real name?
Yes, it is my name,
Okay.
not my kunya. Yeah, my
Yeah.
it's my name.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. So, yes, children at one point they need to turn independent, and even sleep to separate them in bed. So, but all these steps have to go in such a smooth manner that the
Mm.
child, when we are separating them or separating their room, the child
Mm-hmm.
should be feeling that, okay, I'm moving on to my new room, and they should be excited for that. So
Okay,
there's a
yeah,
lot of steps that we need to do before that. mm, to
exactly.
build in that curiosity, to arrange their room, to build in all the props and all, and make it
Mm.
as interesting as possible before moving
Yeah.
the child to another room. Actually,
Mm.
I have 4 children, and all of them are in their kids' room, and we
Okay.
separated the child quite early itself. Um,
Okay.
but there were several steps that were done before that, so that the child is
Mm.
happy doing it and it's not affecting the child emotionally. And if you feel,
Exactly.
Umahani, if you feel like your child is negatively affected because of that, then
Mm.
do more and more of bonding steps with your child. Show that you care. You
Yes.
needn't, talk about this, but make sure
Yeah.
that you express your love a lot to them.
Yes, of
Hi,
course.
ma'am.
And one more thing is that I'm actually expecting my fourth
Yeah.
kid. So that also is like I wanted them to have their own, space and their own time and their own bed and, their own separate space. So I'm even thinking that there is that because this is my fourth kid that, I'm causing that separation between us and, all that thoughts are coming now during the process when I'm listening to you. So as you said, definitely everything should go like with ease, and whenever I'm doing this transition also, I think it should go smoothly. That there is mutual understanding. I feel this
Yes,
is what I'm
and
understanding. Yeah,
yes, exactly. And if you
yeah,
are in the personal mentorship plan of CRINC, you can definitely discuss it with your mentor, and the mentor will be guiding on how to take that steps smoothly.
yes.
Hi, ma'am.
Shall I will
Okay,
definitely think about it. Okay, thank you so much. It was very beneficial. Jazakallah khair.
thank you, Mahani. Norlane says, yes, I could connect to it by making them feel more assured. Exactly. Sumaya, what if the child is 2.5 and doesn't understand? Yes, Sumaya, is this the same Sumaya in time management group that I am yet to answer? I guess I've given your answer here. I don't know whether this is the same Sumaya. Okay. So,
Hi,
Sumaya, there also,
hi, ma'am.
yes, just a second. Okay. Let me answer to Sumaya. Okay, same. Good. Okay, so Maya, there also the same thing applies to your 2.5-year-old. Make sure that you do a lot of bonding activities, and let them feel assured of your love first. And then the next step is making them independent. Yes, go ahead, Nafisa. And
Uh,
we can take 1 or 2 questions ahead, I guess. Shameen,
okay.
is that okay?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I got two grown-up children. That means one is 17-year-old. Another one is 13-year-old.
Mm.
Uh, actually, mashallah, actually, I got a what is a very good children. No problem. Still, actually, something as what's I'm frustrating with that. Actually, I'm a working woman.
Okay,
Actually,
what are you doing?
feel here. Actually, I'm not a good mother. I didn't manage them well because my daughter and they were not ready to now. Actually, everything they used to reveal everything with everything they used to talk with me. Now they are not doing that. I feel. Then can you give me suggestion? Some suggestion? Is it possible to change them? Is it possible to what is make them feel what is good
Yes,
and have a friendly relationship with them, a positive.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
Nafisa. Nafisa, what are you working as?
I'm a teacher.
A teacher. Okay, so when do you go from home and when do you get back?
Mm. Yeah, I think 8:15 in the morning, and I'll reach only after 5:30.
Okay. So what you can do right away is
Mm,
you can increase your touch points with your children. That is, increase your interaction with your children on a positive note. Like when we get back from work, it will be very stressful, and we'll be in a rush to,
mm,
uh, again go to work the next day and trying to finish off our works and all. But be conscious and make sure that you include more of good activities with your child.
mm,
And if you're interested, you can contact Kring and we'll be guiding you through a parent mentor with
mm.
specific activities to do with your child to build on your bonding with the child.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Actually, Kring, we do a lot to help working parents because parenting is not something that can be done wonderfully by stay-at-home moms. I've been both. I've been a stay-at-home mom and I'm a working mom now. So I know that both the situations are pretty much the same. Even if we are staying at home, we may not have ample time with us. And when we are working, it is quite different because we won't be there most of the time available to the child. So the struggle is different, but mm, I cannot say that one is better than the other. All you need is what is support to do something to exactly what you can do at the moment to get guided on the things that you can do rightly at the moment and build on the relationship with the child. Okay, Anjum, I'll take one more question. Is it okay if children under 10 doesn't respond to one call? Needs to be called 2 or 3 times. How to manage other family members' frustration? Anjum, please get in touch with Kring. I'll post the number again. I 99 468 69805. There need to be a little more clarification. 99 468 69805. Yes. There will need to be a little more clarification on this, Anjum. Since the child is not, you need to call 2 or 3 times. Certain more questions have to be asked to get it cleared. Okay. Inhabitants of what? How to control inhabitants in children? I didn't get you, Arshad. I'm sorry. So we are almost eight. It's 8:30. It's been 1 hour talking to you. So nice talking to you all, and thank you for a very energetic group. I never felt that I am alone. In some sessions, I feel alone when you people don't talk, but this was a
Hi,
lively
Mariam.
group,
I
and
have a
thank you for that.
question.
Okay, may I know who this is?
Hi, this is Saliha. I'm taking the parental mentorship from Frink.
Okay, Saliha, go ahead.
Yeah. Mostly in Kerala, we have, joint family concept. And even if the parents try to handle their kids, there are relatives or other family members, or even when the situation is we have to take care of elderly parents who are unwell and a lot of visitors coming in, them being judgmental about how we live. So a lot of toxicity is spread on the go. How do we handle that?
See, when it comes to joint family, there is always a lot of if conditions that are there because even joint families differ from person to person. And all we can do at that time is make sure that you and your child is you both are so connected that whatever they hear or see from the others, but still they give more preference to you and your words. That is one thing that you need to continuously work on. And the other negativities or something that happens from others, um, See, we cannot avoid that and see it as an opportunity to educate your child. We say this, no, even if we put a child in the inside four walls and raise them, once when they start facing all this,
Yeah.
they won't know how to manage. So what I think when it comes to joint family is you are getting an opportunity to mold your child and to handle to help them handle the negatives that are coming from around. So do whatever that is possible from you at this point of time, and that will be sufficient.
Means, and കൊണ്ടുവന്ന്
Sorry,
വിടാം. ഇന്നലെ എനിക്ക് സുബൈക്കും ജാവും
Nafisa, your mic is on. Okay, thank you everyone. Shall we wind up?
Thanks, Mariyam.
Thank you. Answer parenting without frustration. Kring. Okay, thank you, Atifa. Atifa has been with us for quite some time with Kring. And yes, she says that it's answered in parenting without frustration. So if you consider taking up that 12-week transformation program, please go ahead and message Kring. Thank you, Noorlain, Finia, Salmi, and I guess the session was useful. Do put the review how it was in the group. Okay, thank you, Fatima, Salmia, Raisa, Arshad, Ruby. Okay, see you all in the next session.